You're at a party. Someone approaches you with a smile and says, "So, how about this weather?" And just like that, you feel it, that slow, creeping drain. Like someone just unplugged your internal battery. You're nodding, you're smiling, you're saying something about rain or sunshine, but inside, you're calculating how soon you can escape to the bathroom without seeming rude. Meanwhile, the person next to you is thriving on this exact same conversation, energized, laughing, asking follow-up questions about weekend plans. What's happening here? Why does small talk feel like a full-body workout for some people, while others could do it all day without breaking a sweat? Here's the thing. There's actual psychology behind why your brain treats casual conversation like it's running a marathon. Let's start with the deep processors. These are the people who can't just skim the surface of a conversation. When you ask them how their day was, their brain doesn't go to fine, thanks. It goes into analysis mode. They're searching for something meaningful to say, something true, something that actually captures the complexity of their experience. But small talk doesn't want complexity. It wants easy. It wants light. It wants good. How's yours? So these people are stuck in this exhausting loop, trying to find genuine responses to questions that aren't really asking for them. They're translating their inner world into small talk language, and that translation takes energy, real energy. It's like being asked to write poetry but only being allowed to use three-word sentences. Their brains are wired for depth, and small talk keeps them in the shallow end, treading water, going nowhere. Maybe that's you. Maybe you've spent your whole life wondering why everyone else makes it look so easy. Then there's the socially hyper-aware type. These people aren't drained by the conversation itself. They're drained by everything happening around it. They're reading body language. They're analyzing tone. They're noticing that micropause before someone responded, wondering if they said something wrong. They're managing their own facial expressions, making sure they look interested but not too interested, engaged but not intense. Small talk for them isn't just talking, it's a performance. And performances are exhausting. They're running a million calculations per minute. Did I laugh too loud? Should I ask a follow-up question, or will that seem invasive? How long should I maintain eye contact? Meanwhile, their conversation partner is just casually chatting about their weekend plans, completely unaware that the person in front of them is mentally juggling 15 social cues at once. This type of person often leaves social interactions feeling completely wiped, even if they barely said anything, because they weren't just present in the conversation, they were hyper-present, and that's draining. But here's where it gets interesting. There's another group, the meaning seekers, who aren't necessarily introverted or socially anxious. They just find small talk existentially frustrating. For them, conversation is supposed to connect people. It's supposed to reveal something, teach something, build something. But small talk? Small talk is just noise. It's filling space. It's verbal packing peanuts. When they're stuck in a loop of how's work, and can you believe this traffic? They're not just bored, they're actively uncomfortable. Because their brain keeps asking, why are we doing this? What's the point? They crave substance. They want to talk about ideas, experiences, emotions, the things that make us human. And when they can't access that, when they're forced to stay in surface level territory, it feels like wearing a mask. And wearing a mask for too long? Exhausting. You might recognize this one if you've ever been in a conversation where you're nodding along, but internally you're screaming, can we please talk about something real? And then there's the energy matchers. These people don't struggle with small talk because they hate it. They struggle because they absorb it. They're like emotional sponges. When they're around high energy people, they unconsciously rise to meet that energy. When someone's enthusiastic about the weather, they try to match that enthusiasm. When someone's chatty, they become chatty. But here's the problem. That's not always their natural state. They're constantly adjusting, constantly adapting, constantly code switching to fit the vibe of whoever they're talking to. And that's incredibly draining because they're not just having a conversation, they're shape-shifting. They're borrowing someone else's energy to keep the interaction smooth. And by the end of it, they feel completely depleted. They gave away energy they didn't actually have. This type often confuses people because they seem fine during the conversation. They're smiling, they're engaged, they seem totally normal, but the second they're alone, they collapse because they just spent 20 minutes being someone they're not. Here's what ties all of this together. Small talk isn't exhausting because it's meaningless. It's exhausting because for some people, it requires immense effort to do something that looks effortless. Whether you're translating depth into simplicity, performing a social calculation, searching for meaning that isn't there, or matching energy you don't have, you're working hard. and that work is invisible to everyone around you. So the next time someone says they're peopled out after a casual conversation, maybe don't assume they're antisocial. Maybe they just ran a cognitive marathon while everyone else was taking a stroll. So which one are you? The deep processor? The hyper-aware performer? The meaning seeker? The energy matcher? Or maybe you're the person on the other side, the one who thrives on small talk and wonders what all the fuss is about. Either way, now you know. There's a whole hidden world behind those "how are you" exchanges. And understanding it, that might just make the next conversation a little less exhausting.